What's up everyone, it's Bucky and welcome to your 6th Python tutorial. And in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you guys what strings are. Now actually I've already used strings a bunch in my last couple tutorials, but now I'm going to actually tell you guys that they actually have a name, and I'm saying actually a lot, so get used to it. So whenever I did something like I typed out just like a bunch of characters like hey now, that's a string. And it gets its name because a string is a string of characters, just a bunch of characters in a row, or it can be even a single character, it can stand alone. Now as you can see, this one used double quotes, but you can also type them in single quotes, same thing, and it's still a string. It doesn't really matter if you use double quotes or single quotes when you're using a string or quotes. It's the same thing, but in some cases Python is not going to understand if you don't use them in a particular way. So let's say for example you have conjunction like he's a jerk. See, you have the single quote right here, so that means that since you have a single quote in your actual string, you can't put single quotes around it like this. You can see the problem is pretty clear right here. Python is going to view this is the beginning of a string and this is the end of a string, so this is an entire string because single quotes mark the beginning and the end, and then it's going to see this one over here and be like, WTF is this? So to combat this problem we need to use double quotes around here like that, and now when we print it out it's going to know what we're talking about. Or another thing that we can do, if you just are dying to use single quotes, you can put he's a jerk, and you can have something called an escape clause or escape character, and that's the backslash right here. Now whenever you use a backslash when using a string, Python is going to look to the next character, whatever it is, and it's going to say, alright, this has no real meaning, he just wants me to print it out, it has no piece of the code besides, just print it out however it looks. So instead of saying, alright, here's the beginning, here's the end, it's going to say, alright, here's the beginning. We know this is just a regular quote because this backslash right here, so I guess this one would be the end. So it kind of tricks Python, and let me go ahead and press enter, and as you can see, that works too. And it isn't only useful when you're working with single quotes like that. It's really also useful whenever you have a double quote like Bucky said, and then you have these little things like what quotes are really used for. Hey now, he said that to me. See, in this case, if you put quotes around here and try to print it out, now this whole thing in here is a sentence. It just has double quotes in part of the sentence. Now these double quotes aren't part of the Python programming language, but Python doesn't know that. What it's going to do is says, alright, this is a beginning and this is an end. Since those are double quotes, I'm just a computer, I can't understand, and this is a beginning and this is an end. But what we see is, no, this is actually an entire sentence right here, and it just has quotes in it because that's part of the English language. So we need to tell Python to start acting right. So what we do is whenever we use double quotes as part of the English language and not actually part of our program language, we need to tell Python to ignore those using escape characters just like that. Now Python will see this is the beginning, don't see anything here, don't see anything here, they're invisible to me, and this is the end. Perfect. Bam. A little too easy. And let me just show you guys what would happen, because I know you guys. Let's go fishing. Fizzing, same thing. If you guys actually try to print this out, you would get a syntax error. So I'm not just making this up, you actually would get an error. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is how to join strings. Now, just like I showed you guys, numbers can be stored in variables, you can also store strings in variables. So say you have A equals Bucky and B equals Roberts. Anytime you want to join these strings, all you have to do is add a plus sign between them. A plus B, bam, look at that. Now That's all you would have to do, and then what Python does is add these two strings together in a one string of text. So again, you add A plus B, and you can't just put A, B like that, or A comma B. What you need to do to get your desired result is actually put A plus B. And that little plus sign, this is called concatenating a string. And concatenating a string means just adding it together. You'd actually probably want to change A to something like A Bucky with a space after it, and go ahead and press enter. Now once you do A plus B, it looks like a regular name. So again, that little addition sign right there concatenates strings or adds them together into one long string. And again, you need that because if you don't, you're going to get an error message. So that is pretty much the basics of strings. I know it's kind of boring, but I needed to tell you guys it, or else you'd be lost in the future. And that's how you concatenate strings or join them together. So there was your very boring tutorial on strings. I promise these will get more interesting from now on. That's just a little something you need to know. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.